there's a beautiful saying in our culture, after hardship comes ease. So whilst this might be hardship for you, understand that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that ease will be coming your way very shortly.
Hello everyone. Well, today on MCC Conversations, we will be talking all things community with two-time Premiership Tiger Bachar Houli. Bachar, thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, you are connected to a number of communities, and that's the theme for today. You've got your family, your wider Muslim community as well, the football community. Talk to me about why community is so important to you.
Yeah, obviously it all stems from the community that I come from, I guess. Obviously the Muslim community, it's something that's been part of my whole life. I've learned so much about togetherness, about connection, and it's allowed me to use those sort of qualities into football and into other communities, and dealing with other faiths and other communities and other people. So it's and obviously another important aspect or a component of it is the foundation that that is a huge part of my life, and being able to change people's life in many ways. So very, very grateful for this.
You mentioned that connection and togetherness, and during a global pandemic, and in particular in Victoria, we're obviously under very strict lockdown conditions, that connecting with people, your family, your friends, and that togetherness isn't possible right now. We've had to look at other ways like video chat, what you and I are doing right now. I mean, has that been quite a challenge for you?
Yeah, it is definitely a challenge, and it does work, because clearly we've had to operate particularly in the last 6 months through this networking, through Zoom, through all the various methods of communication. But it's definitely been a challenging time, because it's not as effective as face-to-face interaction and seeing each other and touching, feeling, all this sort of stuff that you get. I guess you gain more of a connection from. But the reality is, we are in such a position that we're challenged, and we have to continue to remain positive in a specific way, because these sort of things that's happening to us right now, it's not going to last forever, although it can feel like it's lasted forever, but there is definitely going to be light at the end of the tunnel, providing we tick the boxes and we continue to do the right thing, and follow protocols. So a bit easier for me to say this whilst I'm in Queensland, but for those people back home, we're still under a lot of restrictions here as AFL players, but which has been very challenging. But what gets us through is the reality of thinking about other people who are doing it a little bit more tougher than us. So waking up and doing the exact same thing nearly every single day. There's nothing wrong with that, but when you're restricted, it's a lot of negative thoughts get into your mind, and why me, why us, and I just don't simply get it. And I think that's what a lot of people are going through right now. Why? And I don't get it, and there's what's the reason behind this, and etc. But at the end of the day, we've got leadership out there that supposedly they're doing their best to get things back on track, and if we can follow these minor things to the best of our ability, and we all can continue to do the right thing, be better as a society, and things will go back to normal sooner rather than later.
How do you stay positive? I mean, it's one of those things, the negative thoughts creep. Lots of people have different strategies. Some people practice mindfulness, there's meditation, exercising. How do you try and stay positive and in that mind frame?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned all those things that you can do that do help you I guess staying positive. For me, that's exactly what I do. The mindfulness that people do, for me, it's my prayer. Engaging in prayer at least 5 times a day allows me to, I guess, stop everything that I'm doing and just connect with what's the most important part of my life, and that is serving my Creator, and being grateful for everything He's given me. Because the reality is, you can take away things from me, but when I think about it, I've still got good health. I've got family around me. Things are going okay. But as human beings, we naturally get into this mindset that there's, things can't get any worse, where, we're at rock bottom, but the reality is about, let's just try to think about the blessings that we have, and it'll help you get through a lot of things. Exercising is a big one. Being a footballer allows us to, it's very effective, and I don't know the complete science behind it, but the feeling of getting out there, raising the sweat.
You're a leader, as we know, within your Muslim community, and we saw early on in the pandemic, you sent a message out urging people to follow the rules. What drives you to be a leader within your community?
For me, obviously I look at this role as an obligation for me. You can either choose it, accept it, or not accept it. But for me, I've accepted the fact that the position that I hold in the community can be very effective according to the way you want it to be. So, I know for a fact there is a lot of people out there, particularly youth, that I guess look up to me in many ways or some ways. That's all it is, just reminding the wider community that, just continue to do the right thing. They're not taking everything away from you. It's simple. Like back then when I sent that message, because it affected my family directly, extra urgency to get out there and spread the message, because I had that first-hand feeling where my family was affected by it. But generally speaking, we've got to do our best to adhere to instructions, protocols, because our government and people out there, they're not out there just to put you down and to make you suffer. It's I guess it's the right thing to do, and there's always reasons behind it. So sometimes people like myself need to voice their opinion, and you're not going to get everyone's approval, but if you can tick a few boxes and try to get the message to as many people as possible, then you feel good about yourself. And I had a lot of positive responses from it. Obviously there's always a bit of negativity that gets around, but that doesn't stop me from doing what I think is the right thing.
You mentioned that personal experience. How is your mum going?
Yeah, she's going really well. I mean, obviously I haven't seen her now for about 3.5 months, which is so long, to be quite honest, and very, very long, particularly when when she was sick. It was very, very challenging, because we couldn't go and see her and see how she is, and just, I guess, hold her hand and just be there for her. But very, very times. But we're a very well connected family. We support each other, and she's doing great now. She's back to normal. She's driving, which is good. So there's a lot of positivity, but obviously, like I said, we're a very strong family, and we're very positive along the whole journey.
I think one of the issues early on in the shutdown period was that it was Ramadan, which, when you break fast, it's a time for family and friends to come together, and you weren't able to do that in a big group. I was chatting to one of my friends, and she actually said that it was a blessing in disguise, because when they broke fast, and she was doing it with only a couple of her family members that she lived with, it was actually a much more intimate experience. So it's things like that you may not have been able to experience otherwise had there not been a shutdown. Did you find that it was a much more intimate experience with Ramadan this year round?
Yeah, well, it was, particularly within your own family, and that's where I see the blessing of COVID. That I've been able to invest time into my kids, my wife, and be there for them and listen to them, and rather than always being occupied with other stuff, whether it's hobbies, whether it's other community events. I remember during Ramadan, probably 25 out of 30 days I would be invited to some sort of break of fast at a function, government, whatever it may be. But for me, I actually broke my fast every single day with them, and I lived it real with my family, and also not being able to go to the mosque, which is something that I dearly miss, because it's part of my day-to-day life, where I go to the mosque at least twice a day. That also spares another at least probably 2.5, 3 hours of that day with your family. That's not a complete blessing, but because I love being at the mosque and feeling that with the wider community. But once again, just investing in that time and praying with my family, which normally I don't get that opportunity to do it. So you're right. It was a blessing in the sky from many different angles, and no doubt, connecting further with my family was one true blessing.
Which is important when you have 3 kids now. I think it was Muhammad was born was it June or July?
Yeah, July 3rd he was born. So.
Amazing. Congratulations. How has it been going with 3 kids now?
Yeah, it's definitely different to 2, put it this way. But I've been looked after, to be quite honest. I've got a wife who's very selfless, to be quite honest. So she's actually put me in the spare bedroom. Also, I hope it's for the right reasons, but just to be able for me to function proper at work and get the best out of myself. And she always said that, why should we both miss out on quality sleep? You can't simply breastfeed, you can't do the certain thing I can do. But she's been phenomenal during these challenging times. And physically putting 3 kids in the car, taking them out of the car, it's very challenging. But it is, once again, absolute blessing, having two girls and a boy, very healthy and positive. And like I said, so this time has been very, very, very huge for us. We've been able to spend quality time, particularly over the last 2.5 months being in this hub life and seeing each other all the time. At times it can be face, but it's special. It's special. Sometimes you don't have to talk to create further bond within the family. It's just being there at the right time for them.
Oh, that's wonderful. I want to ask you a little bit about the Bachar Houli Foundation, of which the MCC is a founding partner of. Just talk me through the inspiration behind the foundation.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we've been very passionate about for the last 8 or 9 years now. And each year goes on, we continue to expand our programs and make them more powerful and more effective. We're still growing, and that's the pleasant thing about creating this foundation. We're out for, we're out there to create massive change in the community, and it's just not going to be simply based on football. It's going to be based on other very important aspects in life, education, leadership, identity, even employment. So this is where we see our foundation growing to. And having MCC as a massive support, it gives you a lot of light and happiness because when you see big foundations such as the MCC supporting and backing it, you've got that comfort in you that you're doing the right thing and you're making a difference in the community. So, we're only so big without key supporters such as MCC. So we'll continue to strive and continue to work on important matters in our community, and most importantly, just create awareness that within this Muslim community that they can be part of a wider community, providing you values and be true to your values. So yeah, we've got so much more to offer, and I can't wait for that next journey.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember last year I had the chance to speak to some of the girls who I think had been part of, I think maybe it was a leadership program, and they just came out of it full of confidence and passion and a sense of belonging. I think they spoke in front of a group of people, and some of the girls said they'd never done that before. When you see something like that, how does that make you feel? Because you've had a direct hand there in seeing these young people grow and flourish right before your very eyes.
Yeah, I mean, we're very passionate, particularly with the female programs as well, because, it's not huge in our community. There aren't many programs for our females, and particularly when it comes to leadership. There are always programs like they have like mini camps and getaways and, building your religious knowledge, etc. But for us, the program focuses on leadership and instilling leadership with our young females, and creating some sort of confidence they can feel part of a wider community and wider society. But I've used football as the vehicle to bring these young girls in together, and we focus on very important pillars, one being physical activity and staying active and feeling good about yourself. The other is leadership skills, good decision making, speaking up when you need to speak up, and creating confidence and belief within yourself. And the other one's their identity, obviously being proud Australian Muslims, and what does that look like? Because unfortunately there is an identity crisis out there within the Muslim community. So we're just trying to instill confidence in them that they can still practice their belief and be proud of their belief, but at the same time go for gold in terms of what you want to do in life, and don't let anything get in your way. There's a lot of happiness, a lot of joys that comes out of that program. I mean, even as recently last week, we ran the female leadership program, and for 3 days via Zoom, which we felt like, is this going to be effective enough? Obviously, there was challenges there, but from bringing them in on the first session to the last session, the way they grew and started to speak up and gain confidence within their own selves is phenomenal. And we're very, very passionate that we've been able to expand our programs, not only from male programs, but then also to the female programs as well, which equally is very, very important.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you've been able to do some things via Zoom, because I was going to ask, how has COVID affected some of the programs for the foundation? But it seems like, just like everyone else, you've moved online and you've tried to adapt like the rest of the country.
Yeah, we've accepted the fact that we're in this situation, and we're not going to stop. We've got clear objectives, and nothing really is going to stop us from delivering our programs, even if it's going to be continuously via Zoom for however long. We still feel like it's having a massive impact on on our youth. So we'll continue to drive our programs, whether it's face to face or via Zoom, and we see the effectiveness of it. And it's not a program that we run for 2 or 3 days. Rather, it's having or giving them the option that even after the programs, you can still contact us, and we're there for support, particularly during tough times. I think this is where you just can't stop. You need to actually follow through with your programs, because mental health is a big issue within the community, or I guess wider community, I should say. So we need to continue to invest in other people and see how other people are feeling. And whilst it's effective for them, but it's also effective for you as well, because you're shifting your focus off yourself and focusing on someone else, which in fact makes you better and feel better about yourself. So, I get this sense of satisfaction every time we finish a program or we finish a specific lesson. Seeing the impact it has puts a big smile on my face.
Oh, I love that. Now, we've spoken about your family community, the Muslim community, now a little bit about your football community. And I guess as a footy club, the Tigers, we've known that they're very tight. We've had the premiership years of 2017, 19. But have you become even closer, given that you are now just living on top of each other 24/7?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a positive thing, being each other too much. We kind of you need that space, which I've been fortunate to have, because the way our living arrangements at the moment, the ones who've got partners and kids, or just partners, stay at a different hotel. So it's just like being at home. So for me, it's been pretty good, because I've been able to go to work, invest in my teammates, get the training done, spend a little bit extra time there, getting to know other people and other players, and then leaving and going to my family. So making it as home as possible, and then doing it all over again the next day. So for the ones that are actually staying together at KDV, which is our own little space, it has its challenges. But somehow things work. So to say to you that it's been all positive and all full of joy would be lying, because it's very challenging. It's very challenging. People miss home. People miss being around their loved ones, and having that kind of a bit of a break from those who you work with. So. But overall, it's been very positive, and we're on this great journey, that creates so many stories, and so many great examples to be part of. So however far we go into this, we'll never forget this journey that we've been on. It's been full of smiles.
Yeah, and I think the wider football community as well, footy fans, are just so grateful that the players have sacrificed so much by leaving and moving into these hubs so that the season can continue. It's managed to save jobs throughout the industry. Is it a little bit strange? Do you miss the G in any way?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, walking on the Gabba the other night, it was the first time I played there this year. It was a different feeling, absolutely different feeling. And, we truly miss it. It's our home deck. It's the ground everyone wants to play on. It's the comfort. It's a very, very special place that I've been fortunate enough to be part of for many years now. And, when something's taken away from you, such as the MCG, as soon as I get back and hopefully get back and play on that ground, I'll really, grasp that moment and be grateful for it, because it's definitely the best venue ever, and we've missed it this year.
Yeah, I know. It certainly makes you appreciate things when you don't have them or they get taken away. I know the Tiger Army are missing watching you guys play live. You've had some good support in Queensland, but do you have a message for the Richmond fans back in Victoria?
Well, the message is very evident, because they've been very loyal to us. Once again, past 100,000 members, which is extraordinary, particularly during these challenging times. So for us, we'll continue to do the best, Tiger Army, and hang in there. Please do not define us by our last moment, or if we fall short from another premiership. We are doing our best. And the reality is, there are other quality opposition teams in the competition that, for some reason they catch up to you, they work you out. But for us, we'll continue to, strive for success, and most importantly, be humble about the way we approach our football. We appreciate their support. Thank you very, very much. And hopefully in the near future, you get to watch us again. And, it's been very, very challenging times, but, there's a beautiful saying in our culture, after hardship comes ease. So whilst this might be hardship for you, understand that there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that ease will be coming your way very shortly.
That is the perfect way to end our episode of MCC Conversations. Thank you so much, Bachar, for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you on, and best of luck with what's to come.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.